Welcome, beautiful souls, to a little tea time chat. So today I want to talk about something that I am seeing is coming up over and over in my conversations with some private clients that I'm working with. And it's about this shift from survival into abundance. It's really a leap that we're called to make as we are evolving, as we're growing, as we're awakening. And so I wanted to talk about that today. It's a process. It takes time. It, of course, doesn't happen quickly, easily, and overnight. And there certainly are not 10 easy steps to get there. But I would love to invite you into the conversation for yourself to consider, where am I with this? How am I relating to prosperity, to thriving, to abundance, to generosity, both in the receiving of it for myself and the being able to give it back in my life? So one of the common thought patterns and beliefs that comes up with regard to this conversation is that it's got to be hard. Like, nothing comes easy. It's all gonna take struggle and sacrifice, whether it comes to our businesses, making money, our relationships, having successful partnerships, romantically or even friendships, our health, right? It's like, it seems like whatever the conversation, like there's this way that it's got to be hard, and it's got to be a struggle. So this is kind of that starting place. So what I want to talk about today is that there's another way. And just to consider that there is a way that it can actually feel easier, it can feel lighter. And I want to talk about really kind of the three states of being that we experience or can identify with in our own evolution. And this comes from the Kundalini Yoga teaching, that there are three aspects to the human. One of them, the first, is the animal. It's that very base, kind of primal, instinctual self. Then there's the human self, which is what we might understand or relate to ourselves most consciously in our everyday waking lives. And then there's the third level, which is the angelic self. So the higher self awareness. Okay, so we have the animal, the human, and the angelic. So there's a way that when we're operating unconsciously from this place of struggle and suffering, and I want to be clear here that this is very much wired into our programming. Okay, we are programmed. Humanity is actually deeply addicted to states of suffering and pain in order to grow and evolve and learn. Okay, so this is fundamental. It's realizing it's not really anything that you're doing wrong. We have been programmed in this way. And again, we're addicted to it. So a story comes to mind that I want to share with you, and it's a true story. It's actually, I think it happened sometime in the 70s, where a group of scientists were doing an experiment where they had a dog or an animal in a cage. And they placed at the bottom of the cage certain sensors where whenever the dog would step or lay there, it would get shocked. So it learned very quickly, as soon as it went to one portion of the cage and got shocked, it would move to another where it could comfortably lay down. But then they would move the sensors over there. And again, when the dog got shocked, it would move. So this went on until they ultimately, the whole bottom of the cage was layered with the sensors. Wherever the dog went, it got shocked. So what it actually did to survive and adapt is just lay down. It didn't move. And they came then and opened the cage door to allow the dog to leave, and the dog didn't get up. The dog just stayed, right? So this is a sad story, I know, especially for if you're an animal lover. But it's important to understand that for many of us, this is the case, right? And on a deeper subconscious level, we've just learned to kind of lay down, right? And in order to avoid the pain of perhaps making some action or some movement. So it's recognizing that we all have this wounded aspect, right? And part of our work as we're coming into our consciousness and we're awakening, it's really turning with compassion towards this part of ourselves that's been wounded, and recognizing that the cage door is now open for all of us. It's open now. And that our work perhaps is to every day, right? The human aspect of ourselves. I see the human as the bridge, the intermediary between the animal and the angelic, right? The human self, that's you showing up every day to that cage door and offering some kind words, perhaps reaching a hand in to offer some soothing gesture. Maybe it's leaving a bowl of water or bringing some food, right? And whether the animal accepts or receives it or takes it or not, it doesn't matter. It's the showing up to that process each day and offering some generosity. Building ultimately a connection, we're building within ourselves this connection of safety and trust, that it is safe now, because we're not going to find the new way, right? The new way of experiencing life as pleasurable, as abundant, as prosperous in the cage. Okay, we got to get the animal out of the cage, right? In order to experience this new level, this new way of being. So, happiness and prosperity are your birthright. Okay, so say that right now and feel your hand on your heart. Happiness and prosperity and joy is my birthright. I claim my birthright in this moment. And really breathing and feeling that and knowing that you don't have to perform for that. You don't have to perfect for that. You don't have to dance in circles to earn your way to that. It is fundamentally, inherently, it comes with being a human being on this planet. And it's claiming that. It's remembering that and being very gentle and patient with yourself as you're learning a new way. So I will just leave you with this to kind of consider, which aspect are you most identified with right now in your life? And how can you offer safety, trust, and nourishment to the wounded one? What's needed? Take some time to really explore that conversation. And then ask, what perspective does my human self and even my angelic self, my higher self, have to offer here? It's a different perspective. So see if you can start to tap into these 3 different aspects within you. Begin to open up that dialogue. And my experience is that this is a conversation that will help lead you from that place of survival to sovereignty. So I'm sending you so many blessings. Mwah!